This video is going to be all about birds and a bird's preschool story time. Birds can be a really great subject because you can incorporate some informational nonfiction text in with the stories about birds, and we're kind of on a trend right now with the whole Angry Bird scenes, so yeah, I think it's a great topic to try out for a story time. To get started, you can choose any hello song that you'd like. You can check out some of the hello and goodbye songs that I already made videos of. I can put the links down below for you. But after you've done your hello or your welcome song, I would go ahead and jump into your first book. And what I would recommend as a starting book is this book called The Odd Egg. And it's the story of a duck who finds an egg, and all the other ducks have beautiful eggs, and they end up hatching into, beautiful little birds. But duck's egg doesn't hatch until the very end, and it turns out to be an alligator. And there's a very funny scene at the end where it suggests that perhaps the alligator took a bite of those other birds that were making fun of the duck before. But this is a great book because you can use predictions really well. You can ask the kids to predict what's going to happen, what do they think is inside duck's egg, and at the very end you have the alligator following the duck around. So it's also a story about possibly adoption. So this is a great book to start with, and it's called The Odd Egg by Emily Gravatt. After that story, you can go ahead and start with some rhymes and some songs. So the first one I'm going to sing is called 5 Little Ducks, and you're just going to start by holding up your 5 little fingers, and this is how it goes. 5 little ducks went out one day, over the hill and far away. Mother duck said quack, 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 but only 4 little ducks came back. 4 little ducks went out one day, over the hill and far away. Mother duck said quack, 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 but only 3 little ducks came back. And you'd repeat that until you got down to 0, and when there's no little ducks, you can sing this verse. Sad mother duck went out one day, over the hill and far away. Sad mother duck said quack, 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 and 5 little ducks came back. And that is 5 little ducks. And just to get the kids up and moving a little bit before the next story, there's a great little stretch up high rhyme that I would do. So you tell the kids to stand up, and then you could do this stretching rhyme with them. This is how it goes. Stretch, stretch away up high, on your tiptoes reach the sky. See the bluebirds flying high. Now bend down and touch your toes. Now sway as the north wind blows, and waddle as the gander goes. And you can even have the kids waddle all around, let them get out some energy, or even have them waddle right back down into their seat to sit back down for the next story. And you can do that one 2 or 3 times through if the kids seem a little bit restless and need a chance to get their energy out. So after that, I would go ahead and jump into my next book. And this book, Scappoose currently doesn't have, but I recommended it for purchase because it is just amazing. It's called Feathers for Lunch. And it has the most beautiful illustrations, and it's just about this house cat who's on the search for some lunch and all the different birds that he's observing, but unfortunately he doesn't catch anything for lunch, only feathers. And the other great thing about this book is that it has some non-fiction thrown in, so all of the birds are labeled by their type, all of the plants are labeled by their type. So you can kind of incorporate that as you're telling the story. And you can recommend this book to parents at the end, or caregivers, by saying that at the end of the book it has nonfiction information about each of the birds that they could then discuss with their child after story time's over. So this is a wonderful book that I would recommend to read during story time for the illustrations and the incorporation of some nonfiction information. And that is Feathers for Lunch. After Feathers for Lunch, I would go ahead and get ready for another finger rhyme. And this one's called Two Little Blackbirds. So you would hold up your two fingers and you would tell all the kids to follow along. And if you have any bird puppets or finger puppets, this would be a great chance to put them on your fingers to do this rhyme. But if not, you can just hold up your pointer fingers. And this is how it goes. Two little blackbirds sitting on a hill, one named Jack and one named Jill. Fly away, Jack, fly away, Jill. Come back, Jack, come back, Jill. Two little blackbirds sitting on a pole, one named Fast and one named Slow. Fly away fast, fly away slow. Come back fast, come back slow. Two little blackbirds sitting on a cloud, one named Quiet, the other named Loud. Fly away quiet, fly away loud. Come back quiet, come back loud. And you can do many other verses to that, but it's a really great rhyme to teach the kids opposites and have them perform the opposites using their fingers as blackbirds. After that little rhyme, I would go into a song, and I believe the song is by Raffi. It's called Six Little Ducks, and you can have the kids be waddling around like ducks or just singing along with you. And this is how it goes. 6 little ducks that I once knew, fat one's skinny, one's fair, one's too. But the one little duck with the feather on his back, he led the others with the quack, 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 quack. He led the others with the quack, quack, quack. Down to the river they would go, wibble wobble to and fro. But the one little duck with the feather on his back, he led the others with the quack, 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 the quack, 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 quack. He led the others with the quack, quack, quack. Back from the river they would come, wibble wobble, ho hum hum. But the one little duck with the feather on his back, he led the others with the quack, 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 quack. He led the others with the quack, quack, quack. And that is 6 Little Ducks. And then for the next book, this is a book that you guys have. It's called Grumpy Bird by Jeremy Tankard. And because I don't have a felt story for this one, what I would encourage or suggest is that you actually turn Grumpy Bird into an action story. And an action story is where you actually have the kids act out what happens in the book. And this is a great book for that because Grumpy Bird, who is just very grumpy, he just wakes up one day in a bad mood and he just decides to go for a walk. And all of his friends, one by one, start to join him. So you could have one little kid pretend to be Grumpy Bird and then have another kid join him and he could be the sheep, and then have someone pretend to be the rabbit and someone pretend to be the raccoon, and so forth until you have a big group of them walking around, and every section repeats the same dialogue. So it's really great in terms of the repetition and turning that into an action story. And it has a happy ending because, of course, once he's surrounded by all of his friends, he just can't help but be happy instead of grumpy. So that is Grumpy Bird, and a really great chance to have an action story that you have the kids participate in. To end out story time, there's one last song, and it's called Little Bird, and it's to the tune of Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. And it goes like this, and you're really just mimicking the actions that are in the song. Little bird, fly around, up to the sky and down to the ground. Little bird, flap your wings. Open your beak and sweetly sing. Little bird, fly to your nest. Now it's time to take a rest. Which I think is a really sweet way to end your story time, and to round it off with a goodbye song, and of course to encourage the kids to check out all the books you have. There are 2 more books I just wanted to highlight that I suggested for purchase. One is called Noodle and Lou, and it's about a little worm who is having some tough time with his self-image. So he doesn't like that he doesn't have legs, he doesn't have wings, and his best friend is this bird. And his name's Lou, and so the bird tries to convince him that he's good just as he is, and so they become really good friends. And it's a really great book about being happy with who you are and having friends who are there to support you. So it's a really great theme for preschoolers to catch on to. And another book is called Little Black Crow, and the watercolor drawings in this are just beautiful. I think they would work really well. They would translate really well into a story time. And it's just about a little boy, and it's written in poetry form, and he's just wondering what the little bird does during the day and if he's like the little boy. And so it's a little bit philosophical, but it's very beautifully written and a great, just beautiful, great illustrations that would be lovely to share. So those are 2 other books that I would recommend, and I just encourage you to look at the Birds Reader's Advisory list that I created to see any other books that you might want to incorporate or at least have out during your bird story time. So that was all about birds.